Be wary of the devices of sinful men. Go further and preach publicly against them. Tell my sisters to love the Lord and to contend themselves physically and spiritually with their own husbands. Similarly, charge my brothers in the name of Jesus Christ to love their wives as the Lord loves the church. If somebody is capable of passing all his days in chastity, in honor of the Lord's body, let him do so without any boasting. For if he boasts of it, he is lost. And if the news gets beyond the bishop's ears, it is all over with his chastity. When men and women marry, it is desirable to have the bishop's consent to their union, so that the wedding may be a tribute to the Lord and not to their own carnal desire. The honor of God should be the aim in everything.
Okay, very briefly, he's talking about marriage here, okay, and the fact that, and I think there were some, a lot of sins, sexual sins in the church, and we should never over or underestimate how the devil can work. So you should always be alert and on your guard. Don't assume that because we're in a church, these things can't happen. And there was obviously problems happening in those times. But he's saying that we do everything. The honor of God should be the aim of everything. So when we get married, it's to honor God. When we live as celibate, some people live as celibate, it's to honor God. So everything we do should honor God. Let's move on to 6.
Pay careful regard to your bishop, if you wish God to pay regard to you. My heart warms to men who are obedient to their bishop and clergy and deacons, and I pray for a place in heaven at their side. For everyone must work together in unison as this training avows, comrades in its wrestling and racing, comrades in its aches and pains, comrades in its resting and its rising. Like God's good stewards and coadjutors and assistants, make every effort to satisfy the commander under whom you serve, and from whom you will draw and pay. And be sure that no deserter is found in your ranks. For a shield, take your baptism. For a helmet, your faith. For a spear, your love. And for body armor, your patient endurance. And lay up a store of good works as a soldier deposits his savings, so that one day you may draw the credits that will be due to you, and be patient and gentle with one another, as God is with you now and always. May you be a joy to me.
Thank you. My heart warms to men who are obedient to their bishop and clergy and deacons. And then he says, and I pray for a place in heaven in their side, or at their side. Simple as that. He's saying the people who are obedient to their priests, the deacons, and the bishops, and this was the only order of the church at that time. So we have a kind of a few more sort of orders, Sunday school and all that sort of stuff. But he's saying the people who are obedient to their bishops and to the priests, etc., they will have a place in heaven that Saint Ignatius himself wishes to be by their side. Do you know what I mean? You know Saint Ignatius, where his place would be in heaven, right? I mean, this man is going to be like right up there with God, and he's saying, oh, by the way, but the people who obey, they will be closer to God than me. And I pray that I have a place next to them. Which draws me to another thing, is that we see a lot of people today in the church, complaining and saying things about our bishop, even our Bishop Daniel, and our priests, and they make a big fuss, and they exist, okay? God help you, and God may you never sort of see them, but they exist. And that just shows how foolish these people are, because they are depriving themselves, by their action, they're depriving themselves from the most sort of blessed place next to God in heaven. Okay, so it's important for us to be obedient. And in obedience we find grace. Okay, that's really important, because it's grace that carries you, not your own ability. Okay? And it's grace that's going to put these people up next to God. Number 7, and we'll stop at 7, by the way. And we've already done 1 of 7, so we're just going to do the first one. Who would like to read 7?
The news that thanks to your praise, things have quieted down in the church. at Syrian Antioch has eased my mind greatly. It is a God-sent relief from all my anxieties, so long as my sufferings give me a passport to God in the end. And through your intercessions, I can be found a true disciple. Oh, far, it's a long one. And now, most blessed Polycarp, it would be eminently fitting if you were to summon the reverend members of your council and choose some generally approved person, known for his enterprise, who could be appointed as courier for God. Commission this man to glorify God and luster to your own unwearied affection by making the journey to Syria. A Christian, after all, is not his own master. He puts his time at God's disposal. This is one of God's good works, and it will be one of your own too, when completed. For I have every confidence in His grace and in your readiness for merit. You have no idea. Action in His cause. I need waste no more words on this suggestion, for I know how fervently sincere you are.
Thank you. We've read, we've gone through that Christian is not his own master, okay? But the first underlined sort of sentence here, so long as my sufferings, now listen to the words, so long as, that means it's not necessarily a true statement, it could be true or false, correct? If I said to you, you can have ice cream as long as, or so long as you eat your dinner first. Okay, so that means if you eat your dinner, you can have your ice cream. But if you don't eat your dinner, you can't have your ice cream, right? Can't have your ice cream, right? So he's saying so long as, that means there's a condition there, there's so long as, okay, my suffering. So not all suffering is a godly suffering. Not all suffering is going to lead me to heaven. I can't sort of suffer because I broke the law and then say I'm suffering for God. You're not suffering for God, you're suffering because you broke the law. You understand? And St. Paul makes that very clear as well. So our suffering that we count as righteous suffering has to be for the Lord, for God's purpose. Okay? As long as my suffering gives me a passport. What a wonderful word, a passport. So you cannot leave. We wanted to travel and we didn't. Our passports were expired, as we discovered, so we had to run and get them renewed. So we needed a passport to travel. Without a passport, you cannot travel. Without a passport and without a visa, you cannot enter heaven. All right? So the passport, God, through your intercessions, I can be found in as a true disciple. Here's Saint Ignatius saying, hey, it's only by your prayers that I can become a true disciple. I just want to dwell on that a little bit, and it'll be the last point, and I know you've got to go to soccer, so. Don't ever assume that, I'll start with us, that Mona and I are here to teach you anything, all right? Don't ever assume that, all right? We are all at the same level, okay? We are all sharing the faith, okay? We are all encouraged by each other. We learn from you just as much as you learn from us. If Saint Ignatius, if I'm not worthy to kiss the floor that he walks on, says that I can only be found the disciples through your intercessions, right? Okay, wait a minute. So what makes a disciple? It's our unity It's our intercession for each other. It's us praying for each other. It's us encouraging each other. That's what makes us who we are as a Christians, okay? So don't ever assume that this is like university where we have graduated, where we are doctorates of theology, and we're coming to bestow on you all this wonderful and this, a lot of knowledge. That's not how it is, okay? That's not how pre-service is. That's not how service is, okay? And that's not how our church functions, okay? We are all serving God. You cannot be a servant unless you have a relationship with Christ personally. You cannot be a servant unless you are passionate about your salvation and the salvation of others. It's not a knowledge game. It's not a skill game, okay? It's a faith game, okay? And it's a life, okay? It's life. It's a life that we live, okay? So I really hope that you pick up this letter and this book and read some of the letters, because it's really encouraging and really full of fantastic teachings that takes us back to the early church, to the basics of Christianity.